Alright, so Sean O'Hare, I guess, died at age 43. And that's a real shame. And they're saying it's suicide, I guess, I hear. But again, you can never trust these wrestling websites or even other websites. You don't know, really. But, it looks like it's a suicide. Uh, and, I've said it in the past. When superstars leave WWE, Vince McMahon should really help them out if they're having problems like with drugs or problems because of injuries of wrestling. Just anything really. I mean, Vince should help out because probably the reason they have that problem is because they've given literally like their lives, years of their lives to Vince in exchange for money for that Vince has gotten. So the least Vince can do is help out a little bit. Like these people are like they're short of money. They can't make enough money. They don't have enough money to get themselves surgeries for injuries they suffered for Vince. Yeah, Vince won't even give him any fucking money because he's too much of a cheap little motherfucker. Like really, you can't give somebody like $20,000 to get a surgery. Vince is like a fucking billionaire almost. Like that would be like the right thing to do there if you have all that money. Give a little bit, or at least publicize it on WWE.com or on the Raw. Fundraiser for Jake Roberts. He's getting surgery. He needs money. Give some of it to him. At least do that. But I'll go. I went on WWE.com right after he was dead. I think it was like an hour or two, a few hours, whatever. They didn't even have anything up. And I looked today. Still, there's nothing up. Apparently John Cena's top 10 rivals are more important than Sean O'Hare dying. It's ridiculous. Like they don't even nothing on the front page of this guy dying, and he did work in WWE. I hear. It's like, come on, Vince. Whoever is fucking running this fucking website, it's like, why don't you mention his fucking name? He just fucking died. It's a shame. Like he won't help them out when they have problems. Like how could you fucking you got all this money. They've worked for you. They've given their fucking everything for you. Some of people have lost families, have broken bones, have fucking serious injuries. Problems because of steroids. Die early because they give their lives, they give their bodies for Vince's money. Yet he doesn't give anything back. What a selfish motherfucker that is right there. Nothing. Just nothing. Just once they retire, once they are fucking out of the company, we don't give a shit about you. You die. Who gives a shit? We won't even say anything. Who cares? You gave your life for us. You died because you were a wrestler probably and you had fucking issues. Who cares, Yeah, it's more important, to make money than to fucking do the right thing. It's just this Vince has been like the Ultimate Warrior. They gave a big fucking thing for him, big celebration on Raw. I wouldn't call it a celebration, like a ceremony, I guess, right after he died. Big ceremony, Took everybody out on the fucking stage. Everybody was, there's people crying. I think Cody Rhodes, I remember, was crying or something. Make a big ceremony for him. But people like Viscera died. Nope, nothing. He worked in the company for like over 10 years. Nothing. It's ridiculous. It's all about the fucking money. Nothing about giving a tribute to somebody who gave their body for the company. Nothing. It's like Vince so selfish. But more to the death of it, it's a fucking shame. All these wrestlers are dying young. Viscera at 40s, Ultimate Warrior, what was he, 50s? Who else died recently? Mae Young died, but she was 90 or whatever. Good thing that she lived a good life. And memorable wrestling deaths like Eddie, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, of course. I still question whether he did it or not, though. The suicide and double murder, I still question that story. Macho Man, of course, died in a car accident. I guess it doesn't have anything to do with the company or wrestling. But even though I heard he was still like really, out of shape and like his body was in bad condition. Like his wife, I think, didn't even get hurt, barely got hurt in the accident, but Macho Man died. Um, and like Iron Sheik can barely fucking walk. Like all these guys that have, given their bodies for the company and die early or fucking suffer in their later days. It's sad to see that, and I propose that they just stop live events. Get them out of the fucking way. Just have a Raw and a SmackDown each week. Or something like that, and have NXT on the side. Maybe do a live event like once a month and make it a big deal, like in Madison Square Garden. Do that. But like all these live events, if you cut out the live events, people will their bodies will be in better condition, their morale will be in better condition. They'll see their families more, and they will wrestle better too because they won't be as sore. And they will live longer probably because they won't take as many fucking bumps. So that's my thing. Cut out the live events. Just focus on Raw and SmackDown. And if you just put your main focus on Raw, it'll be a much better show. That's my theory on it. Maybe people will differ, but I think that will work very good. And even if it doesn't even make money, it's still like you're extending people's lives by doing that. So I would definitely cut out the live events. Don't even do them anymore. It's just a waste, I believe, in my opinion. So there you go. I mean, it's a shame he died. And if it's suicide, I mean, that would just make it so much more worse. Like, my grandpa died because of pneumonia back in '07, I believe. About 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And I mean, it was really sad, but like, if one of my family members commits suicide in his 40s, I mean, that would just be fucking horrible. That would just be horrible. I mean, you can't even fucking really think about that. How bad that would be. And then again, like, why wouldn't you help him out, Vince, if you know he's having problems? But no, it's all about the future and making money. It's all about me, making money. Haha. I can just see him like doing that evil laugh. Having. He does it on his Titantron, I believe. He just goes like this, and I think that's how he really is in real life. He's like, I think that's really how he is in real life. Just all greedy, I just want money, power, strength. It's fucking, it's sad. To see all these people die young, and people like will say, oh, wrestling, it's fake. It's a stupid thing. And then all these people die young. Yeah, it's really fake. All these people are fucking dying in their 40s and 50s who are wrestlers. Yeah, and everybody thinks it's like a pussy sport or whatever, and it's really, it takes a lot to be a fucking wrestler, and it you gotta pay a price in the future if you want to be a wrestler. That price could be dying in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, dying young, losing your family, having drug problems, steroid problems, suffering later in your life. I mean, it really takes, like being a wrestler really, has its consequences. So there you go, people. Rest in peace, Sean O'Hare. It's always a tragedy when somebody dies, and I feel bad for all these people who commit, because like suicide's like the number one cause of unnatural death. I mean, more people I hear die from suicide than car crashes now. So I mean, suicide's a real problem in society, and it's always sad to see it's always sad to see people die, especially from like something like suicide. Like that's like the worst fucking taking your own life. That's got to be one of the worst ways to die. Like if you're like a family member of the person, that's got to be like one of the worst because it could have been like prevented, with some help and intervention probably. But there you go, people. Or maybe they did help him, maybe the family, but I don't fucking know, so I'm not going to really go into that, but I'm sure Vince could have contributed a little bit to the problem, but there you go, people, rest in peace. It's always a shame to see somebody die, even if it is by suicide. It's still a shame, and we should still honor that guy's life, because I'm sure he was messed up in the head and shit, so we should still honor his life. We should still say he was, still, be positive towards his life. I don't know how good of a person he was or anything, but still, it's still a tragedy to see somebody die like that. So, there you go, people.